how many men do you have working with you?
Any given time, it could be 4 or 5.
And I'll direct your attention then, if we could, go to May 24th, 2022. You recall that day?
Yes, sir.
Were you on duty that day?
I was off duty.
And around 11:30, what were you doing?
I had just finished up a run. I was on the way to the gym in my patrol unit. They let us take it off duty.
What do you mean by I just finished up a run?
Yeah, I just ran. I was on the way to the gym. It was my day off. But I had my patrol unit. They let us take it to the gym. They don't pay you to work out, but they let you do it on your time off.
So on your time off, you were doing running. I mean, just jogging, is that
I had done a couple miles and I was on the way to the gym.
to do weights?
Yes.
Okay. And did something keep you from getting to the gym?
I got a text message. There's a group message with it's the sheriff, the chief, the deputies, and that's when I heard about an active shooter at, well, they said a school. I didn't know what school yet. So I turned around.
You heard active shooter and you turned around?
Yes, sir.
Where did you point your vehicle?
I was going westbound on 57 towards La Pryor. I turned eastbound, headed towards Batesville to take 117 towards Uvalde.
So the active shooter, you knew it was in Uvalde?
Yes, sir.
And is that your jurisdiction?
No.
Is it your county?
No.
And yet you went?
Yes.
And how long did it take you to get there?
I think I stepped into the building at 11:50 something. I'm not 100% sure. 20 minutes or less, maybe?
Okay. And on your way there, did you drive the speed limit?
No. No.
Tell us how you got there.
As fast as that truck would go, I just quick.
As fast as you could go, you got there?
Mm-hmm.
And when you got there, where did you stop?
I stopped at a parking lot. I don't know if it's the northeast, to the right of a cafeteria, to get my rifle and put on a vest that I had.
Okay. May I approach your honor? Yes, sir. There's a pointer right there in front of you. Take you a second to look at Geraldine Street, Rose Street, and Robb Elementary. Okay.
So this would be the cafeteria?
There's people right here on the end. If you could just scoot that way just a touch. I'll scoot it over.
Okay. If this is going to be the cafeteria, there's a little pickup area here. I parked around this area. There should be a parking lot or something. I don't know if it's in view, but there's going to be around this area here.
Just out of view by the cafeteria, there was a parking area, and that's where you parked.
Yes, sir.
And that's on that far bottom corner to the right, far right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. How were you dressed on the way over there?
I had I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt and running shoes.
Okay. And so is that the same way you were dressed by the time you got there?
Yes. Minus I put on a vest that I had on the seat.
So when you got there, you put on a vest. Tell us about the vest.
It's just bulletproof. I'm not sure if it's what the rating is, but it's all I had, so I just put it on. It's a black vest. Yes, sir. It said sheriff on it.
So you don't know if it was rated for guns or for handguns or for...
Not at the time, no.
That's what you had, so that's what you put on.
Yes, sir.
Did you have to have anything else with you? Besides the
No,
vest?
that was it. Phone, everything stayed in the truck. No body cam, nothing.
How about helmets?
No helmet.
Any weapons?
I had an AR rifle with I loaded maybe 12, 13 rounds in there.
And did you take that with you?
Yes, sir.
What did you do?
I see some parents, I believe those parents approaching from the right into the parking lot. There's two BP agents. Looks like they're taking cover. They have their rifles out. So as I see the parents approaching, I load real quick, get out. Then I ask where the shooter's at. He looks a little confused, but points somewhat in the direction of the main building he was at. So I run towards the cafeteria. I know there's a gate there. I've picked my kid up there. I know the school, I just didn't know the name at the time.
Let me stop there for a second. You said you picked your kid up there?
Yeah, I picked my daughter up. Right there on the side of the cafeteria, there's a little driveway you pick up the kids. So I picked her up there before I know where the main office is at. And the cafeteria, other than that, I just know that location.
So was she going to school there that day?
Yes.
Okay. So then what happened?
So I know there's a gate right there to the cafeteria, so I make my way to the gate. There's a school, I think it was a school officer coming out. I think it was Mike Hernandez. He has something in his hand, he's walking away and ask him where the shooter's at, and same thing, he looks kind of confused, points. So I go past him. There's a parallel buildings after the cafeteria. Behind it you have those parallel buildings and the main building. So I run in between those buildings. I think I don't know if it was county or those two officers. Same thing, I ask where the shooter's at and they point towards the main building. Like, I don't know the direction. They say, be careful, he's shooting out of the window. So I make my way past that, and then next thing I know, I'm in the building. I don't remember if there was somebody at the door or not. And from there, I just remember linking up with Canales and whatever officers were there, pointing their barrels down the hall.
Okay. Now approach again, Your Honor, to show. If you'll show us the path that you took from your vehicle to get to the building that you're talking about.
So I was parked here. I made my way over here towards the gate. This is where I ran into the other officer. Ran through here. Those two officers, I believe, right here. Then I made my way into the building right here. These are the windows they were talking about that he was shooting out of.
Where were the officers when they told you, be careful, he's shooting out the windows?
Somewhere right around here.
And did they point to the windows they were talking about?
Yes, it was going to be these windows here.
Okay. So when you found out that he was shooting, did that stop you from going forward?
No, I just ran quicker.
You did what?
I just ran faster to get in there.
To get in there?
Yes.
When you found out he was shooting?
Yes.
And where did you go?
I made entry to this doorway right here, and that's where I can't remember what happened between here, and I linked up with those officers. I can't remember if someone was at the door either.
Okay. But you got to the main hallway,
Yes, sir.
and then you say you linked up with other officers.
Yes.
Tell us what that means.
So when I get there, I make contact with Lieutenant, I believe it was Lieutenant Eddie Canales, and they're just briefing me on the situation. They're telling me which classroom they think the shooter's at. I remember them describing the chair. They point, they're like, where the chair's at. At some point I asked if they wanted to make entry, and no. They say something about a negotiator and a shield. He explains that they got fired at as they approached the door.
And so what did you do when you found out that that police officers had been fired at?
There wasn't really much I could do. Whatever they needed, I just joined in on whatever they were doing.
So what did you do? What did you join in on?
On the hallway, I just stood left of, I believe it was Eddie Canales. I just stood left of him, pointing my rifle there, waiting to see what was the next plan.
So you joined in with a group of officers?
Yes, sir.
And do you know what the purpose of those officers was?
I think they were waiting on like I said, I remember mentioning a negotiator and at some point a tactical team of something.
And while you were there, did a tactical team arrive?
Eventually, Bortac showed up.
And what did you do when Bortak showed up?
It's a little bit of a blur, but I know I talked to them, asking if first, when they got there, I thought they were gonna have some kind of equipment to breach the door, which they didn't. I remember asking about a sledgehammer. Eventually that rifle-rated shield came up, and that did show up eventually, but just little things like that. I could hear them talking about breaking windows. It didn't happen.
And so, with Bortak, you expected there to be some equipment,
Yes.
and that equipment wasn't there.
No, just what they were wearing.
Okay. Well, and one thing specifically you said was a sledgehammer.
So anything to maybe break the door handle. That's what I was thinking at the time. And then the shield, maybe the shield, because I don't know how many whacks it's gonna take. But just little things crossing my mind.
What do you mean by how many whacks it's gonna take?
To break the doorknob.
For what purpose?
Or I don't even know, at the time I don't know which way the door opens, just to try and break the door down.
And how long did you wait there?
I know I ended up leaving to make a call. I was still trying to find out where Ava was, if she was okay.
And Ava, what grade was she in?
I think it was second grade.
And who did you call?
My ex-wife.
And did you get her?
Not that time. On the way to the school, I had made contact, but she didn't know anything where she was at. She might have been at the school at that time, or by the time I got there.
So you didn't know the condition or situation that your daughter may be in?
No.
And as you're standing in that line, what's going on in your mind?
I don't know if she's in there.
And what, was there any further delay?
Just the locked door situation.
And how did y'all resolve the locked door situation?
With the master key.
Once the master key arrived, what happened?
I'm not sure if it was used on the janitor door, but when we breached the classroom, they did use that master key. So they opened the door and we breached.
So they used the master key and you breached?
Yes.
Well, you weren't a school district police officer, is that correct?
No.
Were you a Uvalde police officer?
No, sir.
Uvalde County Sheriff's Office?
No.
You were from Zavala?
Yes, sir.
How is it that you ended up ahead of those people?
Nobody stopped me.
And when you were part of the breach, why is it that you went in?
I was there. Nobody stopped me.
Wasn't it dangerous?
Yes.
But that didn't stop you?
No.
And why is that?
Because I was there.
And how many people made up the breach?
It was 4 or 5 that I remember, but the line could have been bigger because there was officers on both sides of the hall. But as far as I remember, it was 4 or 5 of us that were going in first.
And what agencies were they with?
It was me with Bortak, and then I'm not sure if the PD was behind me. Across from me, there was a sheriff's office for Uvalde County, and then maybe some PD guys with him. Everybody was there.
But no school district police officer?
I don't know.
Okay. And so tell us how you breached.
After they unlocked the door, I think they got both classroom doors open. We make entry. It's dark, can't see anything. As soon as I make entry, I realize I don't have a flashlight, I can't even see. So I look to my right and there's a pile of the bodies. get shot.
Excuse me?
I was expecting to get shot.
You didn't know where the shooter was?
No, I thought he was going to be to the right as soon as we made entry.
You thought he was gonna be where the bodies were?
Yes.
So that's where you focused your attention?
Yes, but it was hard to see. It was dark. And then the door, you hear a door creak open in front, and then the shooting starts.
When you say a door creak open in front, what do you mean? Where was that door?
It was directly in front of us. Whoever was in front of me, whether it was a guy with a shield or a board tack, I don't know if he was in. The stack's a little, I was either 2 or 3, so I don't know if someone peeled right, but whoever was in front of me, the door was right in front of him. So the guy with the shield, more than likely.
Was it across the room?
It was straight in front of the door.
In front of the entrance door, there was another door across the room?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And so, tell us what you heard and what you saw.
So the shots ring out
From where?
directly in front. I could hear the shots coming. I'm carrying my rifle left-handed, so I can't even pick it up because we're so close together. Eventually, I transition to the right, fire a couple rounds, and it jams. Something happens with it. I'm still not sure. It felt like a long time. I know the video's fast, but it felt like a long time. Eventually, shooting happens behind me, and then it's over. And in front of me, there's someone with long hair face down, and I think I thought it was a teacher at first because he had long hair. They flip him over, and I could tell it's the shooter. He's in all black. We still have a classroom to the left. So me and another officer peel that way. And I look down.
Did you say that way to the left?
Yeah, we turned to the left to go into the second classroom, and I look down, and there's a little boy. And his shin looks pretty big. He looks older than my daughter. So I think maybe she's not in here. And then in front of me, there's a girl with a pink dress. And I thought I saw her stomach move. Like she took a breath and held it, I'm not sure. And I asked the guy to my left, did you see her breathe? But at this time, it makes sense now. I'm not getting responses, but I have a gas mask on. I don't know if he answered me or not. But right after seeing hers, when all the chaos in there started, the desks being pushed everywhere, screaming, I got out of there at that point. Once they flooded the classroom, I left to look for my daughter. I didn't want to look in there, see her in there.
So you took care of the shooter, and then you went to look for your daughter?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Turner, microphone.
I'm sorry, I moved away from the microphone. And where did you look for your daughter?
From where I parked to the east of that towards Highway 83, there was a little field there. Somewhere along the way, I got info that there was kids there, like a staging area. So I made it there, looked for Ava. She wasn't there. The superintendent, Dr. Harold, was there. There was a teacher there, a teacher aide, and I asked for Ava, and she said she's at the Civic Center. So I felt a little relieved, and I asked her, you saw her get on the bus? And she says, no, and it makes me mad. I got mad that she told me that. So I asked Dr. Harold if I can get on the bus and go to the Civic Center, and he says yes. So we get on the bus. We're near Highway 83, and on the way they say there's kids at a car wash. So I tell the bus driver to stop there. I don't know if she was already going to stop, but I tell her stop at the bus at the car wash on 83. Before we get there, more radio transmission comes out that they ran across the street. And sure enough, they're not there. So I asked the bus driver to turn around, and she's taking too long. So I have her open the doors, and I get off on the highway, and I run to the house. And you see the kids there.
To your house?
I ran to the house where the kids ended up. Yeah, I get off on the highway, and I run, get to the kids. Look through them, Ava's not there. They're in somebody's front yard. There's a lady at the door. I asked to use her phone. Same thing, no answer. So I don't know where Ava's at. The bus ends up getting there. We get on the bus, go to the Civic Center, get off, walk in there, and the kids are in rows, almost like a formation. And I don't see her at first. It feels everything leaves my body. And then out of nowhere, she like appears, and I hug her. We go towards a back wall. And then a teacher, but I don't know if it was a teacher, but she kicks me out of there because I have a rifle. So I leave my daughter with a relative there. He was looking for his kid. I asked him to give me a ride back to Rob because I fired my weapon. Pretty sure I had. So I knew I had to go figure out what they wanted to do with me. So I went back to the school. I met with a ranger, and he took my weapon later on that day.
Because it potentially had evidence of, since you had fired shots.
Yes, sir.
Is that standard procedure when there's a police shooting?
Yes.
So that's nothing unusual?
No, they take your weapon.